second. The live is loading on YouTube.
You're okay if it's up there.
Oh, is-
You can just close that window, yeah. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Sean McGuire. I'm the Executive Director of the Albany County Land Bank. It's 3:02 p.m. on Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. We're calling to order a meeting of the Land Bank's Acquisition and Disposition Committee, and we're holding this meeting remotely per New York State Open Meetings Law. This meeting is available on our YouTube channel for listening and viewing. Today on the call from the committee, we have the following folks participating: Sam Wells and Charles Toohey. Absent from the meeting is Natisha Alexander. From the staff, we have the whole staff here today, including Lynette, Shelby, Lillian, and Sue. The agenda has been circulated to the committee ahead of time. It contains a number of items. The first of those is a review of the minutes, and they reflect the meeting of the last meeting of the committee, which was held back in July. Hopefully you had a chance to review those. Are there any questions, suggestions, or amendments to the minutes as presented?
None here.
All right, no changes. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
By Sam, second. Charlie, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or any abstentions? Hearing none, that carries. Item 3, new acquisitions. We don't have any new acquisitions for you this month. And so for number 4, for new dispositions, I'm going to turn it over to Shelby for the presentation.
Great, thank you. So we're first gonna go with item 4A. We received 2 applications for 174 Broad Street, but one of the applicants had withdrew their application. So we do have an application for applicant 2149 and 2159. The applicants are investors proposing to operate 174 Broad Street as a rental property. They currently own multiple properties in Albany, including 537 Washington Ave, 31 Bertha Street, 442 Hudson Ave, 673 Myrtle Ave, and 23 Benson Street, and utilize a local property manager for oversight, which they put in the application. Their proposed budget is the same for both 174 Broad Street and 202 Kent Street, because they did apply as well for 202 Kent Street. So the staff recommendation is that we approve applicant 2149 and 2159 for 174 Broad Street.
And just for some background here, 174 Broad Street's been in the Land Bank's possession for quite a while, right? If I remember correctly, we've had it for years.
That's correct. Yeah, we've had it for a long time. It was actually the subject of a study by the 2 professors from Bard and City University in New York. They used 174 Broad Street as the building to talk about land banking and what the potential use is there. So yeah, we're ready to see it advance to its next life.
Just to clarify too, both this one and 202 Kent, those are the same rehab budget. Do you guys feel confident that that's an appropriate rehab budget? I don't see it on the sheet, so.
No, yeah, no problem. So we are not confident that it'll be able to fulfill both rehabs. So that's why staff recommends that we approve it for 174 Broad Street, but that we don't approve it for 202 Kent Street. And then we put 202 Kent Street back on the for sales list.
Awesome. I think that's a smart approach. And 202 Kent, we haven't had that one quite as long, right?
Correct, and we just got the title issue fixed on that, so now we can actually work with it. And we did discuss that briefly, that we have the same applicant in both, but the team, rightfully so, we had no experience with this owner before. So I think we want to see how they can perform with 174 Broad Street before we commit 2 properties to them. Even though they own other ones in the city, I think going through and Susan's next to me here, so going through the enforcement process, we would just, it would give us a better, more comfort to see them do one and see how they perform before we sell additional property.
Yeah, and 202 Kent Street is actually really popular as well. So we don't think we'll have any problems getting interest in that property because there has been a few already.
Awesome. That's great. I generally I agree with the approach here. I just because these folks are out of town, just wanted to ask you a few more questions about them. The applicant incomes, this is I think is that missing a zero, I'm assuming?
No, it's not missing a zero. So this is based off of their taxes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Are you gonna dispose of Broad Street to them and not Kent Street, or vice versa, or what?
So we're recommending that we approve it for 174 Broad Street and then put 202 Kent Street back on the sales list.
On Kent Street, we're gonna hold on to that to see how they do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're not gonna approve the disposition of Kent today,
Yeah, no, correct.
right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
The other thing is, when Sam was talking about the estimate to do the building, I don't see that, we used to have the column there, but I don't see it on the schedule you're showing us. Am I missing something?
No, we can add that back in. I think one thing, Charlie, is that these aren't standard reports out of our e-property system. And so we recreate them every month. We're in the process of resolving that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Sam asked the right question, and of course, sometimes it doesn't mean too much, but it's nice to know, because we're supposed to get some general idea ourselves, so.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so we're gonna do Broad, we're gonna hold on Kent, I get it, okay, what about the next one?
Great. And then for item 4C, we have 405 Sand Creek Road. For applicant 2148. So this applicant owns and maintains the adjacent parcel and plans to continue maintaining this property as part of their overall upkeep. So this was a conversation that we had a few committees prior. When someone was interested in it was interested in 405 Sand Creek Road. But there's nothing that you could really do with that lot. So Sean reached out to the homeowners in that adjacent parcel, and they had applied for the lot because they were under the impression that that lot was already their property, so they were maintaining it for the last few years.
Awesome.
Yes.
So
Yeah, they have the driveway coming across. That was the one that somebody wanted to buy the lot and we held back. And probably the next day, I think I knocked on their door. And so we've been working with them. And Mark Bob Semple did know the applicant too, and also encourage them to work with us. So we think this is fair.
great. No, that's all. That's awesome that we I don't know what the history of the lot is, but clearly it makes a ton of sense for the adjacent property owner here to have it looking at it in Google Maps. So this is a great outcome. Well
And
done.
I believe we're gonna require them to merge their lots together, so
Yeah.
these don't become orphaned, it doesn't become a separated lot once, like it was. The one on the other side of it, behind it up on the residential street, has the same condition where there's two lots in common ownership and they cross over one to access the other. So along the way, just something got dropped and this didn't transfer in some sort of sale, so we'll get that resolved, and also ask them to put those together so we can
Yep.
reduce the risk of something like that happening again.
That makes complete sense. I remember when the tax foreclosure pipeline used to flow more regularly, we would actually pretty annually get lots that, for whatever reason, the owner wasn't paying the taxes on one, but was paying the taxes on the other for a variety of reasons, sometimes a bit different mailing or billing addresses or what have you. So this is, requiring them to merge makes a ton of sense here. Make sure that that property stays with that owner for as long as they maintain it.
Any questions on those recommendations, we'll take those to the board otherwise.
Sounds good. So now we are going into item 5A, which addresses a few old businesses that we've discussed in prior committee meetings. First, we're gonna go into 8 Westbrook Street for applicant 1119. We had discussed this applicant's application in June of 2025. And we decided to table the applicant's offer because there was potential properties within the area that we may have been able to obtain to acquire. So because we're not sure if we're able to acquire or we haven't heard anything back, we thought that we'd bring this back to the table. And just to give you like a little brief summary and refresh your memories, the applicant didn't have any clear intended use for the property, but discussed the possibility of maintaining the lot as green space with the option to build in the future. This application was previously tabled due to the potential availability of additional lots in the area. However, since there is no guarantee that these lots will become available, staff has brought the application back for board consideration. The applicant was previously approved for a property on River Road, but did not proceed to closing. So, staff recommends that due to the applicant being previously approved for a property on River Road, but failed to follow through on the purchase as outlined in, the disposition policy, page 8, item 7, unfortunately, they're ineligible to, purchase the property.
So we took a look back too to see if there's any notes to give us some better sense as to what happened there, but there's nothing. So what we've learned is that the applicant has been non-responsive.
That makes sense to me. I say let's put it back out there and see what else we can get.
Perfect.
So item 5B is 1336 7th Avenue in Water Valley. The brief summary on this is so we're requesting the board's approval to allow the city of Water Valley to assign its purchase agreement for 1336 7th Avenue to Steve Quick. After we're able to vet him, because we haven't had the chance to vet him just yet. But he's a local developer and landlord who has previously purchased and successfully developed land bank properties. The city issued a request for proposals earlier this year and selected Steve Quick's proposal, which includes detailed construction drawings, elevations for a 2-family home, and identifies GA Parity Contracting LLC as a general contractor. The estimated construction cost is $338,000. The city believes that Steve's past success, financial capacity, and proposed plan align with ACLB's goals, fulfill regional housing needs, and meets local planning and zoning requirements. So in a prior committee meeting, we had approved Water Valley to purchase 1336 7th Avenue. But they reached out and asked if the purchase agreement can be given to Steve Quick instead. Yeah, so assigned to Steve Quick.
So this is the one that we approved to the city, that Joe LaCivita, wanted to have the city acquire for housing. There were 2 lots, and we've never gotten to close on this one. It's just lingering out there. So when we tried to resolve it, we asked the city what they wanted to do. And they're past the point where they've made the deposit, so the deposit's not refundable. So they, as part of their internal process to identify some potential opportunities, had done this RFP, identified this individual, but yeah, like Shelby said, we haven't gotten anything from them, so we can vet them out.
It's just my only thought here, and I'm not against it. I certainly want a house to be built on it, obviously. But I mean, how long ago did we approve this to go to City Water Relate?
Last June? Yeah, last year. If
Gotcha.
it's not,
Okay.
if it hasn't been 12 months yet, it's pretty close to it.
Because my thought is, right, Steve Quick, ideally he'd just buy it directly from us and there'd be some cash for us there too, right? Um, I don't know how much did the City Water Fleet purchase this for? Was it $1? That's usually what we do, right? For
I think
cities?
so. Yeah, the city usually, yeah, they cover all the closing costs, but we let them acquire for $1.
Gotcha. So, and obviously it's a vacant lot. It's not going to be all that much money, but it does make me a little uncomfortable that, this wasn't done directly with us. The city just didn't give it back, and then we negotiate with Steve or, city. I don't, it just, I mean, I'm okay with it this time, but it makes me a little uncomfortable that it was done in this way, and I don't think it was intentional by any means. But in the future, it'd be good to have this developer come to us directly instead of vis-a-vis, one of our municipal partners.
Yeah. Yeah, the city, I think one of the reasons the city didn't want to lose its deposit, but I think what I've suggested is the city close on this and then sell it to them, and actually if they closed on this, their deposit is going to go to the closing costs. They're going to get that credited back.
Right. I don't
So,
understand why they're not doing that either. That's totally within their right too. Doing it this way, I mean, I understand why, and I'm not saying anything bad is happening here because it's obviously not, but I feel like it would potentially give someone the optics that something is happening here
yeah.
when
Well,
either of the other two ways would have been just this would have been fine.
I could go back to Melissa, who's the new city manager, and the mayor, and just say that the best way to wrap this up is just to you all finish the sale, and then we move on.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
that'd be a lot cleaner all around.
yeah,
Because
then
otherwise
they're
it looks like they're just handing this developer a sweetheart dollar deal, saving, a few $1,000s in sales, which obviously, yeah, anyways, it's not ideal.
well, yeah, and if we got involved at this point, I mean, we'll probably have an enforcement mortgage on it because we want to make sure that they follow through on what they're doing since they're dealing with us directly. So I'll go back to the city and push on them to complete the sale because we'll sell it to them free of any requirements, and then it's up to them what they do with that property afterwards.
Yeah, that would be my preference.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Charlie, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Good analysis.
Thank you.
Perfect. And then the last item on the agenda is item 5C for 557 South Pearl Street. This applicant was approved back in January 21st, 2025. Applicant 3481. They were approved for, again, 557 South Pearl Street. And since then, the applicant hasn't been responsive or closed on the property. They are aware of their approval because they have been in the office to pick up other properties that have been available, but they haven't been responsive on if they were gonna close or not in general for, again, 557 South Pearl Street. So the staff recommends placing the property back on the sales list.
What I don't understand is, wouldn't historic Cherry Hill want this lot? And how come this buyer got in the middle? How come Cherry Hill didn't try to buy it from us from the get-go?
Cherry Hill has tried to get lots in the past that they lost in foreclosure, and per the policy is they have to make everybody whole in the transaction, which they did on one lot, but these ones they weren't interested, and we tried to do that before. We can approach them again.
Yeah, well, no, we're just gonna let them know that this deal fell through, and if they wanna get it, they try again.
Yeah.
Good, okay. It would be much better use if Cherry Hill got it, of course.
Oh, yeah, no, I would
You
agree. It
wanna-
makes more
their camp-
sense. And
Oh, you know, you want
Yeah.
to enrich the campus of the historic site.
Yep. Great. Anything else for the committee? Otherwise, we've wrapped up our business for today. And then we have the Enforcement and Compliance Committee at 3:30.
Okay.
That's all for me.
All right, we'll be adjourned at 3:22 p.m. Be back at 3:30 for Enforcement and Compliance.